Paladin, when you're kind of feeling cleric but also want to stab. Sorcerer, when you want to be a caster but you don't want to be a nerd. Hey, what's up everybody, I'm SkyDieRay and welcome to another episode of DnDGreentext. As always, sit back and I hope you enjoyed this video. What would Mr. Rogers think of the player characters in your group? Original party. Fighter Cleric of Yomede, a fellow priest of a good deity, willing to put her life on the line to find a cure for a plague and make sure her fellow adventurers came back in one piece. Wizard. That magic of yours is great and you know a lot from reading all those books. Thinking, she could stand to be a little bit nicer though. Barbarian Lumberjack, a strong, brave man who was willing to risk a lot to help his mother, but you know, you really don't need to be so angry all the time. Rogue. I know you stole a lot of things, but that's okay. I know things were hard and you had to eat somehow, and you still saved everybody even when you didn't have to. I think you're all great and I'd love you to be my neighbors. Be me. Running a Pathfinder module. Some of my players have run through it before. Shit, I don't want the entire adventure spoiled for everyone else. Remember that I am forever DM and I have a whole party's worth of characters I've never used in a game. Throw the party a curveball. Form rival party to the PCs using my unused characters. Get into the game. Minor quest seems to have already been completed. Veterans of the module are confused. Veterans try to trigger quests. NPCs say that this band of heroes from before already helped them. Move on to main quest. Party gets to dungeon. Door is already opened. Some of the puzzles already completed. My face when I'm getting ready to introduce the PCs to their rivals. Have you ever played as an alchemist or a character who uses chemistry to his advantage? Are there any IRL chemists on here, like people who went on school for chemistry? This reminds me of a guy I DM'd once. Had a player, let's call him Jerry. Jerry was, and still is to this day, the smartest player I have ever seen. Jerry was our party's alchemist. Jerry also had a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and a master's in chemical engineering. First thing he did was ask what limitations I had with him making things. I made a deal with him. I told him if he could convince me that it can be made with in-game materials, then he could make it. Jerry agreed. A few sessions pass. He asks if he could modify his crossbow to increase the reload time. Me. Okay, what do you have in mind? Jerry. A lever action. Wait, what? That MP3. Me. And how would you make that? Jerry. Simple. I would make a forked lever that sits flush with the sides of the crossbow that are attached at the hinge. All I would need to do is push the lever down and forward in order for the lever to push the string back to the ready position. After he drew a quick blueprint of his idea, I okayed the proposal on the terms that he had to pay 2k gold and spend 1 week building it. A few more sessions pass. The party was between campaigns. Jerry asked if he could find a way to make poison grass grenades by using our green Dragonborn Paladin's breath attack. Me. How do you think you will do that? Jerry. Well, what I would do is have the Paladin use his breath attack and I would collect it in a few jars. From that point, I would use a ray of frost to supercool the jars, turning the poison gas into a liquid. After that, I would only need to keep them refrigerated by making ice and putting them into a waterproof container. To use it, all you would have to do is break the jar. The liquid will turn back into a gas due to a rapid change in temperature. After thinking about it for a few minutes, I agree with him on the condition that the Paladin agrees. He and the Paladin made a total of 12 bombs that session. A few sessions later, I pit the party against a gelatinous cube. The party ended up defeating the creature. No shocker there. Jerry asked if he could collect some of the gel for a project. I agree, but ask what he had in mind. Jerry. Or battery. Okay, what the fuck that JPEG? Me. Okay, how the actual fuck do you expect to make a battery? Jerry. All I would need is a few thick plates of lead, some copper wire, and an acid-proof container to successfully build a makeshift deep cycle battery. Me. And how the fuck will that work? Jerry. The lead will react to the acid in the gel, causing the production of ions that will transfer to the copper wire as electricity. It's a simple chemical reaction. Me. Prove it. Jerry decides to pull out his phone and shows me a diagram of how a marine AGM battery works. I go silent. I think for a couple of minutes. I can't fault that logic. Over the course of our time together, he made more and more interesting things. He retrofitted his lever-action crossbow into a taser gun. He built a working windmill generator in order to keep his batteries fully charged. He found a way to transmit psionic signals from long distances using the frontal lobes of eyelets and the system of probes. Thank God he didn't ask to build a flamethrower out of a red dragon fundamentum and arcane fire. What are your go-to classes in your party? Knight, Black Mage, White Mage, Thief. Reporting in. Knights are evil because their job description is to uphold a system that causes suffering. We live in a kingdom! Farmers, rise up! The party wanders into a brothel. What does your character do? Barbarian. Have them polish my sword. Bard. Have them polish my sword. Cleric. Have the place condemned for the House of Sin it is. Druid. Wait outside. Fighter. Regale the woman about your conquests. Monk. Meditate. Paladin. Try to redress all the women and tell them that what they are doing is a sin. Ranger. Shoot a girl in the face with my crossbow. Rogue. Act like a little bitch and hide in a corner. Wizard. Be too busy reading to care. Sorcerer. Realize that wild magic activates when you orgasm. Warlock. I don't know, but it would look like tentacle. Had something similar. The players pull the all, capture the first enemy you face, and the bard uses diplomacy to turn them into a pet. Thus was Bandit Thug number 3 turned into Tertius the Timid. Tertius spends most of his time being verbally abused and being bullied into carrying the more important people's things. He hopes to one day get enough money to run away and start a family, but for the moment, these 4 PCs just treat him like an animal and he has to suck it up or get diplomated into compliance. Such is the life of an NPC. You realize diplomacy isn't actually foolproof or magical compulsion, so as soon as he's abused, the bandit thug should either A. Slit their throats in the middle of the night. B. Poison their food and then slit their throats in the middle of the night. C. Sneak off into the night with whatever stuff he can steal. D. Sneak off while they're in a tavern drinking and merrymaking. E. Sneak or run off whenever they get into a tough fight. F. Backstab someone whenever they get into a tough fight. G. Make up some sort of sub-story about his sick mother or wife or kids, etc. into getting the party to let him go. H. Steal items and then plant them on other party members. I. Continue to do his best to lure monsters and or other bandits towards the party. J. Tell nasty lies and spread rumors about the party whenever in town. K. Make a deal with the devil or any evil entity in exchange for temporary power to turn the tables upon the party. Depending on his capabilities, cleverness and evil desires, compulsions, etc. Play D&D a lot with friends one summer. Everybody goes their separate ways. No guarantee we'll ever be able to do it again. Got all these D&D books lying around. Have to meet new people if I want to play again. Find group on release. Play for 3 months. Schedules change. Call DM after 3 weeks. Yo, we playing again? Nah man, I moved to Texas. 4-year hiatus. FML, had to start DMing to play again. Paladin. When you're kinda feeling cleric, but also want to stab. Sorcerer. When you wanna be a caster, but you don't wanna be a nerd. Bard. When you've never made a decision in your life, and you don't intend to start now. Warlock. When you're not quite ready to admit you're into cryptids like that. Druid. When honestly, you'd rather be on the floor petting the DM's cat, but they made you play, and this is the next best thing, you guess. Fighter. When all the weird puzzle shit bores the snot out of you, and you'd rather stack dice till the fighting part gets here. Rogue. When you've never solved a problem in your life, and in fact have caused many, and you're just fine with that honestly. Cleric. When your friends are a gaggle of idiots with a death wish, and you're the only person who's capable of saving them from themselves. Be me, DM. Be not me, party of drunk college kids. Party is investigating kidnapping of Smith's daughter. Party finds footprints by the window leading into the forest. Party identifies the footprints as goblin prints. Party decides to ignore the trail of footprints and go back into town to ask people where goblins live. That phase when you have to invent a half dozen NPCs because following footprints was too much of a stretch of the intellect. Townspeople point them to local forest clearing. party finds rubbish, broken goblin arrows, and other signs of an old goblin campsite. Meanwhile, the smith's daughter is butchered and eaten because the party decided to rely on indirect knowledge rather than following the most promising lead. Alright, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you did. Follow me on Twitch and come hang out with me there, I stream almost every day. Join the Discord server to chat with people, read stories or share your own. There's a link below for my Twitch and one for the Discord. And yeah, that's it, thanks again for watching and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, bye.